I just got the cake from Springtime Cakes. Been using this lady from the first day I started, actually, back when I was living in the other area. And I'm going to show you the setup for today. And I'm also going to show you how I'm going to quickly edit this cake smash. It's really easy. So if you shoot to actually reduce time in your editing, it helps a lot. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the whole process from start to finish. Is this cake, honestly. So keeping it simple and pink. So the theme for today is pastel pink with beige, and it's floral. So we're going to have a lot of flowers in the setting. Have a look at the setting. This is the setting. Now I haven't finished because this is just how I know that it's going to look like in the end. I'm going to add more flowers around the bottom there, so little petals and that. But because for every cake smash, what I do is I do pre-cake smash portrait. So just of the girl without the cake. Sometimes I use the cake smash setting. So in this case, because it's flowers, I'll do that. So I'll remove I won't put the cake, and I'll remove the cake stand. We'll just have her in her cute outfits that her mum will bring her. And and then we do the cake smash. And now since I've gotten the tub, which I'll show you in a second, I've added those to my cake smash sessions. So the tub is like a bathtub, and we add a bit of water in there where the baby can sit and like sort of have a bath after the cake smash. So I've used the blossoms here, and I've just got these. I think Kmart had these I already had, and I've just put them on the stand there. Now if you notice, that's about almost a meter in length up there. So because I shoot and I sit on the floor, so this is what it would look like. So just around there is my frame. So just, I can't show you my finger. So just there. So you can pretty much see how it's going to turn out. Now, why I haven't lifted those even higher is because the baby's going to sit and her head's going to be touching just about, roughly her height of her head is just about there. So that's why I've left it low. Now, I won't know exactly the height until I have the baby sitting there and start shooting, which I can probably tell in the pre-cake smash portraits that I'm going to be taking of her. So you're going to watch and see. Now you're going to see time lapse of this session. So I'm really excited to show you. And yeah, if you have any questions, remember, always leave me a comment below this video. This is the bathtub that I bought from Oz Backdrops and Props. I think from Anna, her name's Anna, but her business is Oz Backdrops and Props, I'm pretty sure. And I'll put a link for you at the bottom there. Now Anna's so great to deal with. I absolutely love her. She's helped me in a lot of things. I buy all my backdrops from her. I'm not endorsed in any other, I've been paid or to say anything, but I absolutely, love her stuff, and it's really great quality. So this is a bathtub, and I think it priced about $180 when she released them. So it's really nice, and it's not heavy. It's like, I don't know what it's made of, but you can see there, it's not heavy. It's really nice, and it's about, I think, 70 centimeters in width. It's really sturdy and it's safe, but always have a parent sitting to the side of the bath or just there just for support in case the baby does move a lot or rolls over, God forbid. So yes, I'll put the links for you guys, and remember, I only mention vendors and any equipment that I absolutely love, tried and tested, and so yeah, I really want to bring those to you as well. So if you have any questions, remember, leave them below, and I'm going to show you how this cake smash is going to turn out. For every cake smash session, what I have is I have some stuff on hand. So I like to get prepared before the client comes in. So I always have a butter knife, so just to cut the cake, because half of the cake smash is always cheated. And if you don't know that, well, now you know. So I use a butter knife because it's not as sharp. Just be careful when you cut the cake, always to back the cake away from the child. I have a spoon because sometimes the child might be, doesn't like to touch it. I experience that a lot. So I have just a metal spoon and a wooden spoon, and they like to sort of use that because they sort of think that they're eating the cake, because that's what they're used to. As you know, we probably don't let children eat with their hands as much, let alone cake. Always have wipes on hand to wipe your hands so they don't get dirty you don't dirty your camera and things like that. I like to have a tablecloth, you know, just to actually wipe my hands or anything that we need on hand. And this I use to just wet and wipe down the timber flooring area. Now, because currently in my studio I have carpet, as you can see, I will put I've got a sort of a blanket throw that I put underneath there, and it comes back all the way because we're going to probably get wet with cake and the mum as well. So it doesn't damage my carpet. I'll put that there, and I'll show you once I've done the setup and we're ready to go. But it's always good to keep these sort of things on hand, or anything that you sort of need. So just I thought I'd mention that just to help you out, because I know over experience that we always assume it's just going to be easy and clean, but remember, this is a cake smash, so that's not going to happen. Okay, so what I do when I edit is I wanted to show you just an image of how I edit after a cake smash or any other session. So what I like to do is I like to always check my exposure, my all the settings that, and even the final image. So what I do, I make it a habit to, when I shoot, every few images I check the back of my camera and flick through to see if I need to take that sort of shot of, again, say of the child looking at me or the child doing anything that I want them to do, in case I haven't taken it right, so, or it's blurry or out of focus, or overexposed, underexposed, all that sort of stuff. So I always make it a habit to check the back of my camera. So I shoot in RAW file. If you're a new photographer, you probably start to shoot in JPEG. I really highly suggest you start shooting in RAW. You can even do both at the same time. Check your camera settings, and also start using your manual mode, because that way you're able to adjust your exposures and all that sort of stuff in your camera settings. So when you shoot in Camera Raw, you open it up in Camera Raw in Photoshop, and then I think this is perfect, but you can adjust the temperature, for instance, as you can see there, just a little bit. You can brighten it, adjust the exposure, underexpose it. You'll see here there's a bit of shadows going on because the light's coming in. When you're looking at it at the moment, it's coming in from the right. So if you just pull down the shadows, you might lose some of the shadows over here. So I think that's pretty. So I'm going to hit Option Open, click Open Copy, so it opens a copy, and also there we go, and see, there you go. So I think that's actually nice. Now you can see my stands there. So what I like to do is I like to move as back as I can, because I'm still in my smaller studio. I have limited space, so behind me when I shoot is the actual newborn's change table. So I've got a space of about 4 meters by 6 meters, so it's very narrow, and it's just the way the room is. So if you are in a tight space like I am, try and keep as much space so you can move back and shoot. And I like to shoot in a wide angle, because if I need to sort of crop in, I can always do that here in Photoshop. But unfortunately I didn't remove the change table in this session, and I don't usually, because this is the sort of depth I want my images to be, and I think I can work it out in Photoshop, like I've just done that there. So I've hit, I've gotten the I've just hit apply there. So I've just outlined it, hit Command T, and I've just zoomed it in a bit so I can wipe out the stands over there. So I use actions as well, and I like to use this. I've got specific overlays that I use. I like to use this pinky one because it's a pink cake smash. I like to use the pink overlay. It gives it a really high intense pink look, but we can reduce the opacity down. And usually in this case I would leave it to about, let's just say 25%. And then what you can do is you can actually go over with a brush and remove remove any, you know, any overlays on the subject's face. So we can do that. Okay, so make sure you've selected the layer. So make sure that's a black and selected the layer. There you go. Oh. Okay, so I've just brushed her face, so I've just removed the actual overlay from her face, so it's just nice and bright. And what I like to do here, now I don't know if you might do this different way, there's like vignette actions, but in this case I don't want a vignette, I want to do it myself. I love to use the brush tool and experiment, so I don't know if you do this, but if you do, leave me a comment below and let me know if you do this this way. So I'm just trying to select a color here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline a border with my brush tool. So let's just select that brush. There we go. So I like to do that. I think it gives it just on the edges there, and then you can always change the opacity of that layer so it's not as bright, but it gives it a nice pink vignette, or whatever border you want to call it. So I just call it a vignette. Now we can still see, I always like to zoom in and check, but in this case I won't, but I can still see my Flucati rug there. So I'm just going to hit my background layer, grab my patch tool. Is it patch tool? Yes, the patch tool, that's what it's called. Mind you, I still haven't memorized, like I've been using Photoshop for years, still haven't memorized all the names. I just know them by their symbols. Pretty weird, but I know. So there you go. I've removed that. And also, let's just close on that. Sorry about the tabs. So also what I might do is I can go in and just, because she's got cake on her face, I don't have to smooth her skin out. She has beautiful skin anyway, but you get kids that might have, you know, marks from falling, or might have, you know, marks, you know, blemishes or anything. You can smooth out the face if you want to do all that sort of stuff. But in Cake Smashers, I pretty much just focus on the border of the images, so it looks more, you know, you know, just unique rather than, you know, just a plain blunt image. I could have left it without the border. There you go. You can see that that's without the border, but this actually gives it a nice overall look, and I might actually increase it to 47% because I think that looks lovely. And that's pretty much it. So if you shoot to actually reduce your editing, always make it a habit, make it a habit to look at the back of your camera, adjust any, you know, exposure, shutter speed, whatever you need to do, ISO, and also, you know, yeah, make it a habit to look every few snaps you take, make it a habit to look at the back of your camera. Also, you know, it's really important to do that because it helps cut down your editing time. And always have a workflow. So if you find one that you don't like at the time, just delete it while you're there if you can. So not all the time we get the chance where we have, you know, children that cooperate, that we actually have time. But I like to, you know, while, you know, we are waiting on something, or I like to, while I'm looking through, if I don't like a photo, I'll just delete it. And you know, if I think that a photo is too overexposed, too underexposed, I'll just shoot it again and things like that. But I like to keep my shooting as, you know, perfect as possible because it halves down my editing time. So rather than you know, gallery taking me, so I edit up to 25 images per gallery per client, rather than it taking me up to 2 hours, it can take me up to 1 hour, and I've only probably shot 100 images, break that down to 25 and then edit them in the one go. So, and also choose the actions you like, pretty much cut it very, very simple, you know, short and simple. Don't go too dramatic. I mean, if you shoot and you've got a nice setting, you really don't need to anyway. So hopefully, if this has sparked any questions, please let me know, leave them below this video and I would answer them. So yeah, so this is pretty much how I edit one of my Cake Smashers. You'll probably see in my other vlogs me editing a newborn session, but I wanted to share with you how I edit a Cake Smash session and how I like to shoot to make my editing half the time that it usually takes most photographers.